That would have worked out. Mexican Charlie Lee, what's up, buddy? Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Real Crypto Extreme stream in an extreme bear market. What up, Aviad? How you doing, buddy? How are you? Crypto Can. Shabab webinars. Man. I don't know, man. I really need to get on that, to be quite honest with you. Just to be quite honest with you, I need to work on those webinars. There's too much stuff going on, and then when I get working on them, I get sidetracked with the kids and house stuff. And I have a lot of excuses. I just have a lot of excuses. How you guys liking your Bitcoin rally? Apparently this was the bottom. That's what a lot of people thought, is that was the bottom. Didn't look like a bottom, and now really doesn't look like a bottom. EOS for free fall. I know, right? EOS has just been bye-bye. We had actually this morning during the power hour, we were talking about, someone's like, hey, what's a good target for EOS? And it was like right here at 9 o'clock. So right about there. And I'm like, I look at the chart, make a measured move. I'm like, oh, I don't know, 135 or something. And I mean, we've already dropped today since my power hour 20% in EOS. And that's like a 35% drop. So I would have to say that is most definitely a valid target. We're past 3/4 of the way there, I would say. And it's really just been just brutal for EOS holders. There was a commenter on my video said he's been holding EOS down 20% in 2 days. I'm like, huh? I'm like, we've been talking about EOS has just been destitute for weeks. I don't know really what's going on. I know they've had some issues with the mainnet in terms of, what is it? It's like when there's a challenge over dominance, like a, I can't figure out can't figure out the term for it, but they don't know how to resolve conflicts extraordinarily well, and apparently that leads into 70% down move in a month. Apparently is what that leads to. So, hey, what's up, Christina? Super head and shoulders on EOS. I don't know. Right here, maybe this one, and this one, Christina. Dan Larimer is leaving EOS for a new project? Really? I guess he wow. So he's taking his 4 billion and running, huh? I'm going to curse right now, just so you guys know. If this is true, what a motherfucker. Seriously. You know, when EOS had their mainnet launch and we heard that they banked $4 billion in the ICO, in the back of my mind, actually, I think I even said it at the time. I'm like, oh, that would suck if this guy just took the $4 billion and ran. If that's really what he's doing, just a horrible human being. I'm just going to put it that way. just a horrible, horrible human being. Why would you put that much effort into EOS, launch it, walk away with $4 billion? And, I mean, I guess he's just going to go do it again. He's going to go do another ICO launch whenever the market gets good again, do another year-long ICO, bank $10 billion, and then walk away again. So he's going to kind of be a billionaire just from really screwing the entire crypto community many times over, apparently. Is this a logical entry point for Bitcoin? Let me put it to you like this. Actually, you know what? You actually have a little bit of a, this isn't going to be real. There's no way. Oh, maybe. That's a measured move. I actually haven't noticed this before. I haven't really spent too much time on the daily chart. That measured move in Bitcoin on the non-log scale, by the way, takes you down to $1,550 in BTC. So can't guarantee that's one of our next stops, but it's in the cards right there, ladies and gentlemen. The way this is falling right now, that definitely could be in the cards. You can start dollar cost averaging now if you want every month. Yeah, I was kind of saying that past 5K. Number one, you don't sell, and then number two, you can feel free to start dollar cost averaging, Johnny B. I was thinking the exact same thing, but the way this is behaving right now, I don't know. We may end up retesting that $1,300, $1,200 in Bitcoin Cash. Absolutely. So my bottoming range, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys remember, this is going back a long time, is 3,600, which we just cut into, to 2,400. This has been my range for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months, something like that. And this was the spike bottoming area. This goes right in line with what Bitcoin has done in the past. If we're going to spike down here at 2,400, we got to do it really quick, like right now. We need to fall apart immediately if this is gonna stop in Bitcoin and turn around. If we're gonna float lower, we're gonna hit those digits right there. Oh, there you go. Cheyenne just posted, or I should say Christina for you guys just posted. Oh, okay. Weekly Head and Shoulders. That takes you down to what now? Just about 0. So that takes you to 0 on EOS. Okay. I kind of see that, Cheyenne. Yeah, well, EOS, $0 EOS is fine with me. So, yeah, good chart. I've never looked at EOS on a weekly chart. That's a log scale too, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yep, that's a log chart. That makes sense. Yeah, it could be the way it's performing. It's just down, down, down. This is, not done by a long shot the way this is behaving right now. Yeah. Ryan said, how's it unlikely the bubble popped? 1350s definitely in the cards. I think I kind of said it could. What I said was that, well, I don't remember. I think our Ride the Track. Hello, Randy. What's up, Ride the Track? How you doing, buddy? It's been a long time. I don't think you've been on any streams. Not that I've been doing them often, but well, essentially, what I'm saying is this has been my bottoming box for Bitcoin, which should end up being a capitulation bottom, and then if it doesn't spike, it's just gonna spike lower, okay, and then. If we actually don't stop at 1,200 or whatever, which keep in mind is still a tremendous amount lower from here. That's still another 60%. Man, I love it how everyone says, oh, it's so cheap. Yeah, it is so cheap. It's even cheaper, 50% lower from here. So the measured move actually is about 50% lower from here. If this works out, this was a pretty extreme downtrend. If this does it again, oh, that's gonna kill a lot of bulls. I mean, you thought maybe what we're in here is that this was every rally we're gonna have, and then we're just having ultimate fear run, just a very extreme fear run right here with very, very little bouncing. That's a possibility. Definitely a possibility. Yeah, I saw that the ETFs were delayed until February, and then if you look at the headlines, the SEC chairman said, "Yeah, don't count on crypto being don't count on us okaying or any kind of ETF until you guys fix Bitcoin," or something like that. There's a headline. Where's that? Waves platform. What's the value proposition? Better be a pretty good value proposition for what it was doing this week. I mean, come on. Where is it here? I don't know. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. The price drop in such controlled waypoints to big money investors selling off a bit and exiting the market. So why are they exiting? Do they know something we don't, or is the problem that Bitfinex and Kraken are under investigation for currently unable to artificially pump the market rallies? Yeah, so why this? You never do get to know exactly why, and that's not even necessarily. You don't really need to know that. Hold on a second. Still waiting for the capitulation. Yep, absolutely. Still waiting for the capitulation. Maybe it'll happen in 1 week, December 6th or December 7th. That'll be, or 16th, excuse me. That'll be 1 year. So maybe if we capitulate in 1 more year, that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. What's going on here? There we go. All right, so Bitcoin down 3%. Let's go check out some of those altcoins. What's up, Paul? Everyone say hi to Paul. Had a feeling we'd be seeing you again today. Yeah, you know what? I have not had the opportunity at all today to be on here. I was at a client's house earlier, and then I had to go take my kids to karate, and I got back, and I ate dinner. Hey, what's up, Arpete? Everyone say hi to Arpete. You realize you can sell now and buy after the new year for a huge tax benefit. Maybe, although here's the thing about like selling strictly for tax reasons. You better be a pretty sophisticated investor and need a lot of tax breaks, because unless you're trading within an LLC, you can only, at least in the United States, write off $3,000 worth of losses. And so that's usually not going to be super advantageous for you. John B has another good question. How would you judge when to exit a BTC short on BitMEX? I shorted at 6.2 and made very little money because I took profit at 5K area and it dropped another 1K. How to avoid the same mistake now? Well, usually volume is your indicator. Price and volume action is typically the indicator. You can see down here, so when we were at 5K right there, that there was nothing really there necessarily indicating. I mean, the volumes were increasing, but the price was also decreasing in kind. There wasn't necessarily a major bottom formed. Now, this, I don't mind if you would have sold this one at 4K. I mean, that right there really looks like a bottoming candle. So I can't blame you if you have a short from 62 and then you cover it at, let's just say $4,200, because you're never going to get that bottom print. I'm not really mad if you do that at all. That's a good trade right there. You had a big bounce up. The volume was a little not, well, I should say not that elevated. And then you had this huge reversal candle right there. Now it happens that no one likes Bitcoin, and so it didn't end up really rallying very far. You could have held through the whole thing, but in fact, I think where did I cover my short? Oh, trying to remember. It was over here somewhere. I think it was over here after this bottom, after kind of spiked lower. Things looked a little bit different at that stage. Anyway, I can't really remember exactly, but yeah, I don't mind exiting here. Like right now, we're just kind of walking lower. Volume is increased, which is fine. There's no major expectation for it to turn around here. We're into new lows, and so support's been broken. Now it's kind of like a breakout, but in the inverse, in the inverse situation, you really just kind of have to wait for price and volume to tell you that it's a bottom. I mean, really, to be honest with you, the sell at 5K to me sounds like something that's very arbitrary. It's a big round number, so you put an order in there, something like that. But it didn't stop at all. So I would definitely just continue to hold on to your short if you re-entered that short. And really just let price action. Look for some bottoming candles. Look for reversing signals. If it rallies on lower volume, probably hold on to it. Things of that nature. I'm a pretty big believer in price action. You're going to get a pop every once in a while. And like this pop right here after this big downtrend, then you have a big pop and then it sells right off. You could maybe re-enter right there or something like that. But yeah, generally I would just let this thing go. I can't tell exactly where it's going to go. I mean, this is our biggest consolidation. If you really want to take a smaller measured move, I mean, you could maybe try to say something like that. 28, 27 could be a decent place for a non-aggressive exit. Okay, volume again, increasing down here, very similar to what we did over here. So I would anticipate it keep going lower. Hello, Desmond. How you doing there, buddy? Thanks for joining me today. I'd like to thank all you guys for being here. Thanks for joining me on my live stream. Figure I'd jump in just before my kids' bedtime. Bitcoin was kind of falling a little bit. We did undercut recent lows. And just wanted to say hi. Please, if you guys do enjoy the content, please like the video if you haven't subscribed to the channel. I'd appreciate it if you subscribed and if you like my content. And, please consider some of the services that I have to offer. I have some webinars. And I was going to mention my power hour here. Still doing the live stream every day. Still doing a newsletter every day. So, yeah, there you go. And we still have alerts here, although they aren't really going off much these days as we're dropping like a stone. So BSV is kind of the alternative to that. It is rallying and continuing on good volume. Really no pullbacks of any sort. Very healthy price action. Someone asked why this is going. I don't have a great answer for that. I just know that it is. And so either you go with it or you don't. But, this is going to have... I think it was up yesterday like 22%, and it's already up another 8% today. I don't quite... there's probably some forces at work that we're not necessarily gonna understand. May make sense in hindsight, but either way, if you want to... DJ Hacker, no, you can watch the replay. All the power hours are recorded going all the way back to last March when we started this thing. Johnny B says, so you would hold on to the short anticipating lower prices. Yeah, I would anticipate lower prices. High volume bottoms is really what I like to look for to get out of shorts like that. You're welcome, Desmond. Craig Wright, selling his BTC and pushing BSV. I guess it's possible. I mean, if you see some liquidations in some wallets, but you know what I haven't looked at? We should have looked at that today. I wanted to, but I kind of forgot about it. I wanted to look at Coin Market Cap and see what the market cap was doing. Wow, look at that. Bitcoin Cash and SV have inverted. That is insane. Look at that. I hadn't seen that yet. That is amazing. And look at Tether holding strong. 1.8 billion. What's the number one cryptocurrency, guys? Tether. Let's hear it together. Tether. And to be quite honest with you, Tether would be a great number one ranked cryptocurrency. Think about it. If your cryptocurrency was just stuck at around $1, hey, actually it's at $1 right now. If it was actually stuck at $1, that'd be a pretty viable fiat replacement, don't you think? That wouldn't be too bad. It wouldn't be too bad at all. That's hilarious. Oh, Morgan, I'd like everyone to say hello to Morgan Freeman. It's nice to have you with us, sir. Enjoy your work. Bitcoin Capitulation Day asks Wonderful Bricks. Not so much. We're not. I highly doubt we're going to capitulate today. Although it looks like a bunch of these coins are capitulating. Oh, Binance Coin. Man, our sell point on Binance Coin worked out pretty well. Yeah, there's EOS against Bitcoin. Eek. Oh, that's not against Bitcoin. I'm not in my power hour spreadsheet. BNB. Oh, look at that. I think that's where I made my no, where's that? No, I was looking at BNB against the dollar. What are we doing here? Bad for BNB. Take advantage of those pumps while you can, guys. Yeah, we noted this curl in the power hour a few days ago. Right after waves, we noted the curl in waves, and it just ran right up. And BNB did the exact same thing. It was pretty cool. And then cashed out there, but down a tremendous amount today. Whatever caused it to pop. I know Binance was saying they were coming out with they're going to launch their decentralized exchange, and that probably caused the pump. But regardless, it had a really good pump. Not so much right now. Anything looking good on the power hour spreadsheet? I don't think so. Mod up 6%. That looks okay, but pretty choppy. VA tool very red right there. ETP down 17% today. That's a pretty big drop right there. Factum down 8%. Oh, look at that. All right, it came up here, broke what was a nice parabolic curve on some pretty good volume right there. See, that candle right there on Factum wasn't even necessarily like the predominant high volume candle, but it was a little parabolic move. Absolutely. A little bit of a doji candle, not quite exactly a doji. Then it's kind of a failure. I mean, really no existential sell signal on Factum. This thing actually went up like 500%. I just can't believe that. 566% right there. I'm not even at the bottom of that chart. I mean, that's just a tremendous run right there. You got to run with some of those profits. Symmetrical triangles, beautiful cup with handle right here. Even a double bottom if you wanted a little bit of an earlier entry on that run. And even then you'd still be up like 37-40%. That's pretty spectacular. So there's some money to be had in the in cryptocurrency still. Just kind of has to you just kind of have to look around and I guess know what you're looking at. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but you do kind of have to know what you're looking at. We did not cover Factum in the power hour, Ian. It's not on. It's on Bittrex and Poloniex, and we do a lot of Binance coins. I mean, we actually found it. I was going through. We had some extra time, and I went through a list. CoinMarketCap, and I went to the gainers and losers for the past 24 hours, and Factum was on there. And then I pulled it up, and I'm like, how the heck did all of us miss Factum? No one pointed out a coin going up 400%. And it wasn't even on my radar, and I wasn't really looking at it. But anyway, yeah, Factum, massive run, super massive run. Yeah, Factum stores mortgage info and stuff. Yeah, I guess they're storing some info. I don't know why it's pumping, to be honest with you, but I know that it was, and I mean, this run doesn't look done. This, like I said, this isn't a major top. This looks like just, if you take the chart out of the picture here and just look at the volume, there's no major selling points right there. So I would probably expect another run in the future. I don't bottom buy, so I probably wouldn't buy down here, although we are getting to a prior high in Factum, so that could possibly be very good. Have to wait and see. What fundamental news there, Roy? We actually went to the Factum website based on the fact that it was running up massively, and I didn't really. Oh, you know why? Because we just went to the website. We didn't actually look through. No, we were looking at another coin that was pumping a lot. I think Waves. Yeah, we went through Waves quite extensively because Waves had a huge pump as well. One we also caught. We actually caught that, I think, before anyone even knew what was going on. And yeah, we caught Waves. Waves had a huge run. And we were looking into Waves for a while, like, what's going on with Waves? And said that they're doing like 500 TPS, which is like, I guess, 5 times or 10 times Ethereum or something like that. But yeah, we didn't really look too much into Factum. So there's Waves. We were talking about Waves right there, and then we were covering every day since, and it just wouldn't stop for like 3-4 days in a row. Finally put in a small topping candle right there. Never undercut that trend line though, so the patient trader would have actually been rewarded. Or even if you got back in, even if you sold on that signal, which I wouldn't be mad at that, then getting right back in on the cross right there. Notice that's right where it exploded up, and then we had a sell signal right there, 9 o'clock. That's right when the power hour starts every morning at 9. And I'm like, yeah, you better sell this thing because I don't know how much gas it has left. And it rolled over, not even in a lot of volume. I've got my volume aggregation tool here that we use. And the volume aggregation tool, for those of you that don't know, I'm assuming it's most of you, this actually aggregates the volume from the bullish candles and the bearish candles, omits the neutral candles. And you can see here just a tremendous bullishness in the chart. All this volume is all buying volume. And you can see the selling volume very muted. I've never really seen. And actually, if you look right here, if you look at the red numbers, the selling volume was 0 on the volume aggregation tool. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know you could have 0 selling. I mean, obviously some people sold, but the whole premise of this is if it closes towards the high, it's a pretty bullish candle. And so pretty much all these previous 14 candles close in the top part of the range is pretty much what it is, because this runs on a 14-period moving average, the same way that the RSI does. And anyway, I thought that very interesting. So this probably will have another run. When, where, I'm not sure. But just, I would not lose track of waves after something like that. Our Pete's saying something. I got to read it. Says, since it has taken so long to get to these levels and still haven't capitulated, do you think the time period to get back to all-time high will be extended tremendously? I do. I actually do, our Pete. So remember early on we talked a lot about the rhyming with 2014, capitulation, this and that. Well, my range is right here in the 36 to 2400. If we don't spike in this range and we just kind of meander through it, I absolutely think it will extend the bear market. Initially, we thought we'd be back towards the beginning of first quarter 2019, I think is what we said back in March or April. Was it that? Is that what it was, our Pete? I think it was March or April when we were talking about this all the time. And yeah, now that we're here in December, in the end of the year, and we still haven't even capitulated, it probably does put us out at least a year, I would think, at a minimum. If this thing just meanders around, you can just continue to extend that out further and further. So maybe look in 2020, 2021. If we go down to 1300, I'm thinking long years after that. 2022, something like just seriously a long time. And in all honesty, that kind of makes sense. Because if you look at, I'm actually going to pull up a weekly chart, which I usually don't do. Oh, that's the wrong. I need to be on Bitstamp. There we go. So if you look at the log scale, what actually makes sense, at least to me, is you have this curve in Bitcoin here. Kind of had that kind of a dealio right there, give or take, right? That was back until we got up towards all-time highs. It's not going to be exact. Okay, it's not going to be exact. But let's say that's the curve. If you duplicate this out, okay, now the log scale's screwing me here. And if you duplicate this out, so this would put us back to all-time highs March 2021, if that time scale were to be respected. Now, as we sit right now, I don't want to put too much emphasis on the time series analysis, because these are the least accurate way to do anything in charting is by time series analysis. Very few times will it actually work. 357 days into the downtrend, give or take, and here we're about a little over a year, 406 days. So if we capitulated about the same time frame, which would be in first quarter, and then that would put us into May. If we actually mirror this, I'll be shocked. I'll actually be shocked if that happens. And doesn't mean it can't happen. It's just very, very coincidental. And if you really kind of look at it a little bit, it kind of does look very similar. If you put that line there with the price action, and then we drop, and then we have another big, this has a bounce and then another drop. We'll see what happens here, but I can't say for sure this is going to follow the same line. It's highly unlikely it follows the same line. If we somehow bottom like this, then you can extend this out, further like that, which puts us, out much further. So I do think our bear market will be extended. I do think that our if we have a purgatory, that the purgatory time will be very choppy. This one encompasses about 100% range from the bottom to this local high right here, or these local highs. That encompasses a 100% range. So if we bounce, if you think of it this way, if we bounce down to 1500, let's say we do go to 1300. Let's do this. Good question, Pete. That's a nice talking point. If we do go down to 1300, what would be 100%? Okay, let me get out my calculator. Do a lot of crazy math. That would be 26. Carry the 0, add the 1, and that takes you to 26, give or take. Okay. If that's our purgatory range right there, if that's our purgatory range, then it's, if you look at it on the chart, on the log chart, if you take it off log, it's gonna be crazy. But put it on log, it's plausible. It's plausible. It's plausible. All right, looks like I missed a few comments going over kind of on my little rant here. The longer recovery time takes after the bottom, the more time to accumulate. Yeah, that is one good thing. If you're a longer term believer in Bitcoin, just start buying it every paycheck. Just start buying it all the time. If you got some, Christmas money to give your kid, give it to him in Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Put it in paper wallets. Put it in his stocking. If you don't give your kid 10 Bitcoin for Christmas, you're a horrible dad. That's all I'm going to say. So, all right, let's see what I missed here in comment land. Lambo next winner. Anything's possible, but see, here's the thing. Price action rarely happens in a V. So the longer we remain down here, the longer it's going to take for us to curl out. And that's actually much more healthy when we get towards highs. It would sound really good if we were like, hey, let's just do this. Oop, that's not the tool I wanted. It'd be really cool to say, okay, I want this. Pew! Right? This is what everyone wants. Everybody wants this. But you're never going to get that. That never happens. What's going to happen is it's going to go down, go lower, bore you to death, make you forget about it, and then it's just going to slowly start to curl back up. One day you'll see a headline on Bitcoin. I'm sure at some point CNBC will stop covering this thing. Maybe they'll take the ticker off of the top of the TV there. We'll have to wait and see. I think Bitcoin still has a lot of interest, so that's why they have it on their screen there. But we'll see if that lasts. Gotta love McAfee. Yeah, right. This should be fun. You really gotta wonder how blown out he must be to keep saying keep buying more as the price falls, going to 1 million in 2020. Yeah, he's honestly, just to be honest with you, he's a crackhead. He's just a crackhead. Zero F's given. I'm going to pick on you a little bit, Zero Fucks given. I'm not saying this derogatorily in any fashion. I used to talk all the time about fake hodlers, and the earlier you recognize you're a fake hodler, the better. Okay? The earlier you recognize you're a fake hodler, the better. So 55 is definitely better than 33. I'll just say that. So I've never seen someone predict graphs or candles ever. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Narf. A year, no way. Not with what is happening in the stock market. I've been saying all year there will come a time of divergence when the trend of Bitcoin following equities breaks. Sorry, Nick. Bitcoin does not follow equities. Here, let me go ahead and pull up a chart for you. That is a fallacy under no way, shape, or form does Bitcoin follow equities? That's actually not what I wanted to do. All right, come on. I guess I just don't do this enough. Come on, how do I freaking... Oh, there we go. Silly. There you go. So, yeah, there's no correlation at all. Just the fact they both happen to be in a bull market at the same time does not mean there is a correlation verbatim. Both markets are in perpetual uptrends. I am a firm believer in both markets, but I mean, you can see here, you can see right there, the S&P rallied a tremendous amount here when Bitcoin was just basically flat. There is no correlation. If you want to say that's a correlation, okay, but there's no general correlation. Correlations come usually because there's a reason. There's no reason for the S&P and for Bitcoin to correlate. There's no fundamental reason at all. The only thing that are the same are some of the participants, and that's about it. But just because they both rallied at approximately the same time, I mean, most things rallied at that time. So, in my opinion, there's no correlation at all between the S&P, the stock market, and Bitcoin at all. Real Crypto, are you normal? No, I'm not normal. Do you like Taco Bell? I do. I do not like Taco Bell. Actually, I'm from California. Much prefer Del Taco, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think we could do a big capitulation move twice from here? First one being a huge fake out that tricks all of us. It's fully possible, right? The track. It's fully possible. I mean, although you never do quite know. You never do quite know. This could be considered like a mini capitulation, if you will. Obviously, it was not. The price just continued lower when you're looking at the daily chart there. So it's not really a capitulation candle. But in hindsight, I could see how people could view this as a possible capitulation candle. But yeah, there's absolutely an opportunity to fake us out and then continue lower. I actually talk about that quite a lot. Well, not quite a lot, but I mention it enough in I got a webinar about how to buy the bottom in Bitcoin. Basically, how to buy parabolic moves is really, or I'm sorry, capitulative moves is what it is here. How to not buy a fake bottom. How to identify when a potential bottom is in. Do you use limit orders ahead of time? The different tools you should use. Should you buy Bitcoin or an altcoin instead? Because altcoins usually bounce a tremendous amount more than Bitcoin does. And if you miss the capitulation, what exactly to do? So there's a charge for this. It's $22 for my webinars. I only have 2 webinars right now. If you want to watch a capitulative move, guys, go to YouTube. I think I did this earlier. Go to YouTube and then search 12-22 Real Crypto. And I actually recorded the market crash of 12/22/17, which was our largest volume candle to date, if I'm not mistaken, at least the biggest one in 2017, 2018. And caught it live there for you. If you want to watch the next part of the market crash right there, I've got 6 hours of video for 12/21, but only 2 hours on 12/22 when it actually moved lower. These are actually recorded within, I think, 3 or 4 hours of one another. I ended this stream for 6.5 hours. It kind of rallied up a little bit, and then I ended up going to bed and put an alert through Coinigy, and then it woke me up a few hours later, and we caught it 12/22. So that was pretty cool. If you want to watch the capitulation, you can watch it right there. If you want to learn about some tactics and some kind of best practices, if you will, then you can go ahead and check out this How to Buy the Bottom webinar. Hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys, you're never off duty when you're a dad. That's all I gotta say. Never off duty. Can you hear my kid crying back there? This guy doesn't even know where the compare button is. Oh, yeah, it took me a minute to find it. Kid Destiny, you love reminding us of that video. Well, you know why? Because I've had so many people tell me that helped them. So I'm going to keep talking about helpful things, you know? I mean, if you look at the video, I mean, what? It's got 4,000 views. Well, like I'm making thousands of dollars off this or something. I probably made $30 off this video in 11 months. So it's not like I'm necessarily becoming a millionaire from you watching this one video. I don't pump it because I make a ton of money off of it. As a matter of fact, I actually have the shortcut links. Believe it or not, we tend to get paid a little more off of viewing time than actual number of views. It's kind of a weird system, but yeah, I don't make a tremendous amount of money. You can watch this for 2 minutes, and I show you all the pertinent action there in the description. Dan Murphy said, you said 3 to 2.5 by May back in February, and we're getting close. Yeah, May was looking like the time frame, but you know, like I've said in the past, the timing part to trading is the most difficult. There's a saying in the market, even if you're early, you're still wrong. And guess what? I was early, and guess what? You know, it's just wrong. I was early, I was wrong. Oh, I've learned to deal with it. Are you bullish on BTC long term? If so, how bullish are you? Asks Dan D. Well, Dan D, I am bullish on Bitcoin long term. I would not be involved in the market otherwise. And how bullish? Bullish. I don't know how bullish you can be. I do believe that we will have another parabolic run. It's been the cycle of Bitcoin. It's had, I think, 4 of them so far, and that we're going to get another 5th one at some point in time. I can't say it's going to be this, I can say it's not going to be this year. Probably won't be next year. If we're lucky, it'll be in 2020. And in terms of how bullish am I? Well, I'm bullish enough to trade in the market. That's there's not really a range I can think of there. Jimmy Chu, you bought BQX and you're still holding it? Jimmy Chu, you've been on my channel before, dude. You've been on my channel before. That hurts. That hurts me. I don't like when people are down like 97% or whatever, and then they ask for advice. Here's the funny thing too. Like there's a lot of resources out there. Oh, this thing's just dead. This thing's just horribly dead. At least on Binance. Yeah, so a lot of people, there's opportunities out there to learn. There's courses you can take. Like I've got my Power Hour, which is the thing that I have. I don't have any courses, but I've got my Power Hour, and it's really funny. I'm not trying to pick on you, Jimmy, but people are more than willing to throw 20 grand in a market. But I say, hey, $65 and take advantage of almost 20 years of trading experience, and they go, yeah, that's too much. But you'll go ahead and throw $20,000 in a market and hold a coin that goes down, thousands of dollars. I find that really funny. I was actually thinking about it the other day, and I was talking with one of the Power Hour members. Actually came down to Arizona. We talked. We're going to do a project together, and I can't wait to put the project out. Actually, we're going to do a project together. And I was talking to him. I was thinking about it. I'm like, back when I started trading, there really weren't any services like you guys have available to you today. Every one of these YouTube idiots, Real Crypto, I call everyone an idiot, including myself. Real Crypto, Node's got a community, Chart Guy's got a community. I don't know, whoever, Crypto University, that douchebag's got a community. Everyone's got a community. You guys have so many opportunities to learn, and for really, some of those courses are outrageous, but some of the other offerings are fairly inexpensive, and it's really kind of mind-boggling to me that everyone would rather, they'll go to dentist school and have a $300,000 debt to pay off, but or they'll go to school and have a $60,000 philosophy degree that they're never going to make any money in. But the heart, I'll be damned if I spend $1 on the internet to learn to learn part of the trade. So, I really think if you guys still have questions, even if it's not me, go find someone that you really relate to, that you agree with their style, that you like how they present themselves, the kind of content you're being offered, and try it out, because you're throwing, in many cases, tens of thousands of dollars in the market, and in many cases losing it. So, yeah, I wish there would have been some opportunities for me to spend a couple $100 and really get a crap ton of information. It would have saved me 50 grand. That was the first stake I lost, was $50,000. It would have, at least it would have lasted longer. Hold on, guys. All right, guys, I'm back. Kids are in bed now. Sold your kidneys to buy more crypto. Well, I don't know if I would have sold those kidneys today. Don't know if I'd have sold those kidneys today. When Tron Moon, sir? I don't answer Moon questions anymore. Now it's all a show. How far can this ish go? Yeah, basically, how far can it go? That's really the question. And in what time frame? Majority of people, at least I know a lot of the people in my community are just kind of, a lot of them are watching, some of them are shorting, but not too many people are buying. In fact, I really hope nobody's buying. I don't mind if you dollar cost average, but no like major purchases at this particular stage of the game. How can I send you BAT tips? BAT tokens using the Brave browser. I actually have the Brave browser, and that I was trying to hook up to it. I had a bunch of tokens in there, and they're just gone now. So I really kind of somewhat abandoned the browser because of that. I hear it's really good on memory and a lot of things, but at the same time, it seems fairly inconsistent in terms of the coins. I had some coins in there. A couple people have given me some BAT tokens, but I don't know, Nathaniel. I'll look into that, and I'll post something in my video descriptions going forward if you're interested. I really appreciate you trying to support the channel. I truly do. Thank you. Welsh Crypto says 2K range, smart money should step in and drive the price forward slowly. Well, I've heard 6K, 5K, 4K. I've heard all kinds of numbers as far as when the smart money is going to step in. Here's the thing. This smart money is really smart. Probably not going to be able to guess it ahead of time. That's why I firmly believe in price action, because it's one of the, pretty much any system that you trade derives from price action. The entire technical analysis industry is based on price action, and that's why I've really kind of focused on becoming a student of price action. I'm good with other kinds of technical analysis, but really I do believe it's the price action that can lead you to more insight than anything else. That is correct, Nick, but they're not going to put near that much money into cryptocurrencies at this stage of the game. They're just going to slowly pick at it until all of us, noobs and and amateur traders give up all their Bitcoin, then they're going to rally it to the moon. So if you guys want to buy from here on out, don't plan on holding it or don't plan on selling it if you're going to dollar cost average. Don't plan on selling until we're 40, 50, 100 grand, because, and that could take a long time. That could take longer than you think it. Whatever number you have in your head, it's probably going to be longer than that. Jimmy Choo, I've been here before. I'm going to sign up, man. So stupid. Burnt. So, here's the thing, Jimmy. I get it, okay? I'm a guy on YouTube. Look, I got to make money too, all right? Let's just be honest. You guys are here to the markets to make money. You take all the free advice you can get from all those douchebags on YouTube, and you do what you do with it. But at some point, a vast majority of people have to get out of their own headspace. You have to get out of what's in between your ears. Talk to someone else. If you guys don't have a circle of friends that actively trade, if you guys don't have people that you can talk to and actually somewhat seasoned, at least with more experience than you do, that's actually one of the reasons why I started the Power Hour, was explicitly to get people out of their headspace, to get people asking questions. And that's why I do it every day. I don't have to do this every day. I could do this probably 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, something like that if I really, really wanted to. But I did it 7 days a week on purpose. You know what I mean? I mean, look, you go to work to make money. This is one of the ways that I bring in revenue for my family, absolutely. But at the same time, I did it in the fashion that I did my Power Hour, specifically so people can get out of their heads and talk to someone and get a second opinion, someone that they can actually trust. If you trust me, then that's the reason I started that service. So it's not that you're stupid, Jimmy Choo. It's that, you just need to get out of your own head. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're kind of stuck in a loop. You need someone to kind of slap you across the face. And I've done that a few times in the Power Hour. I've really kind of taken people to task for some of the decisions they've made. And I really try to make it a point to, now I don't do like super extensive mentoring sessions, but the other day we spent with a member, Bigfoot, 10-15 minutes with him on one trade that he did. And it was, every time we do those sessions, it's turns out to be one of the best Power Hours that we've done in a long time. And that was a really good one. I was very happy with that one. We did another question the following day with him and another member as well. So, I'd love it if you join. I'd like to help you out. If you don't like it, cancel it. Welsh bought the Silicone course, so that's good. There you go. Get some education. Get something. It doesn't have to be my stuff. I don't even have a lot of stuff, but get something. Get another perspective, and that's good stuff. And I like to think, make sure you can get some questions answered too, because that's the thing. If you're gonna buy a course and you don't have a way to ask questions and get them answered in a reasonable amount of time, I think that can actually not be more detrimental, but that can be a more detrimental than you think it can be. So, and Pete, I was actually thinking about you when I said dental school. So get it right. I was going to say Pete when I said that, Pete, but I didn't. That's awesome. I need like 50x returns, or I'm going to feel like I made a huge mistake. So, Ron, kind of going on a little bit to what I was talking about earlier about getting some information. I've been in that spot, Ron. Literally, I've been in that spot. My first major stake in the markets was 50 grand, and it was gone in like 4 months. Like literally, like 4 months. And I think I had about $1,500 when it was all said and done, or maybe 13. I think that even got dwindled down to nothing over time when I first started out. I mean, I've been there. The only thing you can do, Ron, because to be honest with you, you're probably not getting that 50x, my friend. You're really probably not. The only thing you can do is realize that investing is not like your equity curve in investing when you're a trader is never this. You never have a parabolic equity curve in investing, okay? You will spend, if you think about the nature of a parabolic equity curve, so let's do this. If you think about an equity curve, okay, in your account, all right, we're going to have time going this way, right? We're going to have, at least hopefully it's going this way, unless you're Benjamin Button. You're going to have time going this way, and then you're going to have, right, there we go. And then you're going to have your capital intake. And let's say you're investing, for like 20 years or, however many years, 50 years, whatever, however old you are. If you look at an equity curve, I could probably just pull this just as easily up on the internet, but for some reason I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I can't say why. But so, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Let's say you got 45 years. Your equity curve, if you're lucky, looks like this. Okay? If you're lucky, it's going to look like that. All right? So whatever this result ends up being, I don't know. But if you notice, from where you start, you're probably gonna have some growing pain. So this little decline is probably genuine. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Hopefully you don't have 20 years of negative returns. And then you have another 5, 10, 15, really 15 years until you make significant capital increases. Now, and you look at that again, like what's your difference between here and here, and then this, that's 2, 3. I mean, you get the picture, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? You're only going to make money, like big money, in most cases. This is a vast majority of people. Some people, it's a very quick curve. But you're really only going to make money here. You're really only going to make the amount of money you want to make today on the right side of this chart, okay? But you don't make this money without this. Okay? You just don't. You can't jump into this. Everybody wants to jump into this, but it doesn't work that way. You literally have to, I mean, think about it. Like our Pete went to school, right? For our Pete, this is $380,000. And, I don't know how long it took you to go to dentist school, but let's say that's 8 years. Right? That's 8 years. That's your investment. This is your equity curve for your job. Okay? Now, hopefully our Pete will pay his debt off sometime over here, and then he'll end up, 10xing this or 20xing this into 20 million. I mean, that's I'm pretty sure our Pete's goal, right? You want to invest $380,000 in order to get back a few million over the course of a lifetime, right? And that doesn't happen without this $380,000 worth of debt, at least if you're a dentist. Now, if you're a crypto trader or a stock market trader, maybe this is $10,000 for you. Maybe this is $10,000. And maybe for 8 years, it takes you 8 years to get. Now, this isn't really the case. Hopefully won't be the case in crypto. But, let's just say it takes you 8 years to get to 20,000. That's doubling your money in 8 years. I'm just using fake numbers and stuff like that. You guys know what I'm saying. But, you probably won't get the 20 million, but you could get the 5 million from 10 grand over the course of 30, 40 years by leveraging it, by really understanding the market. By this stage of the game, you have this system down. You know what I mean? You have your learning curve here, then you start to make progress, and then you master your system, and then you continue to work that system that you've mastered. Okay? You don't necessarily you don't necessarily have to, kind of lost my train of thought there. Yeah, I lost my train of thought there. But anyway, everybody wants to jump in right here. That's the thing. Everybody's like, okay, I don't want any of this. You know what? Screw it. Bitcoin's going to give me this, and I'm just gonna ride it up. Well, Bitcoin did give you this, but unfortunately, this was 2013, and you didn't hear about Bitcoin until 2017, and now you just sold it in 2018, right? So anyway, there's kind of my general synopsis with kind of everybody wants this, but they don't want to go through this. And in the end, a lot of people go through this. Something like that. However many crazy lines I have on my charts now. Anyway, that's kind of all I got to say about that. But yeah, so in the end, you got to learn the trade. But you got to kind of get out of, you got to kind of get out of the mindset of I'm going to get rich right now. I know you mentioned you need 50x to break even. I know that started me on a long tangent, which happens from time to time. But you have to get over that mindset of, okay, my equity curve needs to be here. Not that you started out that way, but at this stage of the game, you're doing what's called revenge trading, which is saying, F it. If it works, it'll get me a 10x. The problem is F it trades work about as... Yeah, they don't. They just don't work. Whatever happened to May 2018? May was, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 months ago. Actually, May 25th is my birthday. May was about 6 months ago, and then came June. Before that was April. Yeah, May ended at the end of May. Actually, what Robert's referring to is probably some of my old content when I was talking about the capitulation possibly happening in May. Well, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. If you want me to apologize for that, you can sit there and wait for a long time. I've said this many times in those days, and I remember those days because according to the time series analysis, which I state every time I say time series analysis, is the most inaccurate is the most inaccurate thing in the markets. It's impossible to say this is going to be the bottom. I did a little bit of that game over here while we were still rhyming with 2014. We actually stopped rhyming in April, in my opinion, over here, and I stated that at the time. So you're referring to some really old videos that even I've since negated. May was the last real chance to get out of the market. I mean, yeah, really. I mean, early May was one of those times. Yeah, really, truly. You predicted 2,500 BTC. That almost correct now. Please predict 2019. I see a lot of numbers. Actually, 2,400 to 3,600 was my range for the capitulation bottom. Unfortunately, we're grinding lower into that range, meaning that capitulation will probably happen much lower than that. So we're continually grinding lower here. I don't know what the low is going to be, but the further down we get, it really looks like we're going to go and test those highs from 2013, which is, I think, 1150, if I'm not mistaken. I can't say it's going to hit that on the nose, but that the more we grind down like this without accelerated volumes, without capitulative moves, the more likely we are to get down towards those levels. Do I think Bitcoin is wrecked? Well, obviously it's wrecked. I guess the proper question is, do I think Bitcoin is dead? I don't think Bitcoin's dead. TA traders are never wrong. If they say something incorrect, they just backtrack or ignore it. No, I think I've stated, many things that I've said were incorrect. And TA traders are wrong quite often. Did you know that there's actually a really good trader that I respect named Dan Zanger? Let's see if I can pull him up on my other screen here on Twitter. And let me put it this way. He's an exceptional trader. I'd give both my nuts to be as good as Dan Zanger. Quite literally. Let me see here. And Dan Zanger, I'm going to pull up one of his tweets just to kind of let you know what it's like. And he is a true trend trader, one of the best in the world. Let me pull up the Twitter while I'm looking it up a little bit. He wins about 30% of his trades. So if you're a technical trader, you're used to being wrong all the time. Okay, it's not that we're prophets. No one proclaims to be prophets by any stretch of the imagination, as a matter of fact. He had a tweet on it the other day. So here you go. You can afford to be wrong when your winners are 10 times the size of a small losing trade. Okay, and that proves to the fact right there that he's down about 100, or he only wins about 30% of the time because he takes really small trades, layers in, took 10,000, turned to 18 million in less than 2 years. That was during the here it is. Here's the tweet I was looking at. That was during the bull run in the Nasdaq. He did that on margin, just balls out trading. That's just an insane run. Some people still believe the largest factor in trading success is being correct. See, here's the thing about you saying TA traders are never wrong. If they say something incorrect, they just backtrack or ignore it. Like I said, I've said many times where I've been incorrect. I would say my call rate on YouTube is about 70 to 75%, in my opinion. Some people have told me 80, 85%, but I think that's a little too high. I think my call rate on YouTube is probably in the around 70%. But Dan Zanger here on his trade, one of the best traders in the world. Funny as my largest gains come on less than 30% of trades. Okay, even using technical analysis, you don't have to be correct. And don't take my word for it. Take this guy's word for it. Okay, take you can look at who's the other guy. I think he banned this profile. I don't know if I can use it. Peter Brandt has he has a lot of tweets there. Peter Brandt. I don't know if I can view him. Anyway, he said something very similar. He said something very, very, very similar. So there's two things. There's the analysis of the chart, and then there's the money management that goes along with trading the analysis of the chart. Okay, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's that it's both. It's not just one. You can be really great at reading charts and lose tons of money. Okay. And you can be horrible at reading chart and make lots of money. It just depends on how you manage your money. What do I think about BSV? I think it's up in an uptrend, and that's really all I care about. I don't really care about the battle going forth. I don't care about any of these coins, to be quite honest with you. Like, literally, truly care, none of them. I don't care about any of them. I'll be mightily disheartened if Bitcoin actually fully collapses into like the hundreds of dollars on this drop. But that'll be disheartening. But other than that, I don't care about any of these. What do I think about STOs? What's an STO? I don't know what that is. I hope it's not like Bach and everyone's going to give me crap now that I don't know what an STO is. I know what a STD is, and I feel horribly about those. Do I care about the stocks I own? No. I don't care about stocks. Why would I care about a stock? I don't care about a stock. A stock doesn't care about me. I care about my wife. I care about my children. I care about my friends. I care about my mom. Kind of care about my dad. I don't care about my car that much. If I get into a wreck about it, I'm not going to cry because my car is wrecked. I'm going to make sure my family's okay. If I'm in Apple and then I get out of Apple and then Apple drops 50%, I don't care about Apple dropping 50%. I don't care about anything. It's an investment. It's strictly an investment. What price will BTC if Bakkt comes? Back doesn't matter. None of it matters. You care about your girlfriend. There you go. That's great. Care about your girlfriend. Don't care about EOS. Don't care about Cardano. Don't care about Ethereum. They don't care about you. If you guys go out there and die tomorrow, Ethereum is not going to send you send your family a grievance card. Ethereum is not going to be at your funeral. Security token offering. I guess I don't know much about those at all. Aviad, to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't have. Yeah, I've got no baseline knowledge about those, and so I'm kind of. I'm sorry, I don't have any opinion. Nick says, boils down to 3 options for me. Stay invested in stocks and get wrecked. Leave cash in bank and watch it devalue subject to rampant inflation. See it stolen for bank bailouts or buy crypto. That's a pretty dim view on the world, Nick. I don't want you to be my psychiatrist. I don't want you to be my psychiatrist. So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I'm gonna get out of here in a little bit, maybe 10, 15 minutes. But in terms of Nick's options here, I don't know where you live, Nick. I live in the United States of America, in America. I live in America, and we've been pretty stable for the past 150 years, probably longer than that. I know we've had a couple of rocky patches, but our society is going to be here. Our dollar is going to be okay. We're not going to have hyperinflation like Venezuela. If we do, you will get plenty of notice. Trust me. You don't have to make that decision today. You don't have to buy crypto today. Okay? Stocks aren't going to be super wrecked. The stock market's been around for, well over 100 years. Well over 100 years. And it's still here, and it's still going to be here. And if it's going to go down, trust me, you're going to hear about it, probably from me, before you even know about it. And so crypto's not your only way to go. If you care about the debt, vote for politicians that want to get us out of debt. Okay? If you really care about the debt, vote for the politicians that actually want to make some fiscal decisions that don't put us in deficits every single year. We had the first $1 trillion deficit this year. I don't want to make it a rampant political discussion, but at the same time, you can't trust either party in Washington these days, unfortunately, and the third party candidates aren't very viable. I don't know what the solution is, but become very active in the political ecosphere rather than just take your money and do something silly with it, like put it all in crypto. I think that's a horrible, horrible decision. Thanks, Jimmy Choo. I appreciate that. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you. If you decide to join the Power Hour, that'd be great. You are talking ish. Me? Maybe a little bit. Or is that someone else? Are you talking about me? Hold on, I gotta read back on a mode's what a mode's saying here. America. What's gonna happen now? I don't know. Right now? What's gonna happen right now? It's gonna turn 9:28 in Arizona in about 35 seconds, 34 seconds. That's what's going to happen right now. Past that, I don't know what's going to happen right now. I'm in Arizona, Mike. I sold this channel to buy 10 Bitcoin. There you go. I'll sell you the channel for 10 Bitcoin. Let's do it. UK, England, it pains me to admit it because our banks are the worst for the criminal activity, emerging economies, and their fiat currencies are already beginning to default. This has strengthened the dollar. Yeah, I think, UK, I don't know a ton about the UK, but I know their currency is fairly stable. I wouldn't be too worried. All the major Western industrial powers I should just say all the major powers. I don't know much about Russia's currency, to be honest with you. There may be a little bit of a question mark there. But don't get, just because crypto on the surface seems like a good solution to what appears to be a problem in our current fiat ecosystem, don't go rushing to the potential fix to a potential problem. It's kind of like saying, oh crap, I think I'm going to get cancer on my left arm because I touched this cancerous material when I was 7. I'm now 65. I'm going to go cut my arm off. I wouldn't do that quite yet. I would wait until the doctors actually told you, hey, kind of looks like some precancerous cells are growing a little bit. We may want to address this. So you're going to have plenty. You're going to have plenty of opportunity. Plenty of opportunity. Yes, I'm talking too much. Amode says I'm talking too much, so I guess I'll just sit here and be quiet for the next 7 minutes. How come AC does not follow daylight savings time? That's a great question, Robert. I should know that, but I don't. I actually don't know that. I only know that it kind of screws me up sometimes. Greetings from Austria, bro. What's up, Mike? Hello, Austria. How you guys doing? What do you think 2019 will be like for Bitcoin? I think the hash rate will probably go down a little bit. And I think transactions will still take place on the Bitcoin blockchain. So I think Bitcoin will be cool in 2019. Wave Rider, can you answer my question? Let me go see if I can see it, Wave Rider. I was on a little tirade for a little while, and I didn't see your question. Is the fact that more people are shorting and longing the market using leverage a bad thing or creates more volatility? That's a good question. I don't have like a particularly solid answer for that. But I think it is a double-edged sword. I think as you get more liquidity in the market, that is healthier for the marketplace. I think unfortunately it takes a lot of people's Bitcoin away sooner. I also think that it's really a non-issue overall. I think overall it's not a huge issue. Do you think Bitcoin's going to bounce in the next few hours? Well, let's see here. Let's go. We got a little bit of rounding pattern right there. Looks like if we overtake this 3387, we'll probably have some kind of a bounce, maybe up here to that 3540 level, possibly right there. Let's go back to the 2 hour. Oh yeah, we're going to bounce up a little bit. I don't know if the selling is done, but that was a nice little sell off. And to me, this is just going to start us grinding lower is what it looks like. So, all right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to call it a day. Whoops. There you go. There you go. I think I'm going to call it a day, guys. I'd like to thank you for joining me. Please subscribe, like the video if you like the video. Please do check out my Real Crypto Power Hour if you're so inclined. Try it out for a month. If you don't like it, feel free to exit. We actually go over about. I put a newsletter out every single day where I go through all of our Power Hour coins. Also go through all of the. Also go through all of the main coins every single day, and we also do a live stream every single day with recordings available when you log into the website. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Stay safe out there. I won't go catching any falling knives down here, but I'll catch you guys next time. Have a good day. You guys still there? I saw Corrupted just jumped in with $100. Are you there? Oh, you are still there. Okay. No, I saw Corrupted just jumped in with a very generous super chat. Thank you very much, Corrupted. That's crazy. And I'm like, I got to jump in. I'm not going to. It was still on my screen. I'm like, I'm not going to be that much of a dick and just walk away when the dude drops a Benjamin on me. Recap your session with more of an emphasis on what your thoughts are on the U.S. stock market. I think the volatility is the sign of things to come. I'm looking for it to plunge so I can step in and buy best companies at a discount. Yeah, I can talk about stocks for a while. Let's do that. So I will say this, Corrupted. I do my stocks power hour every day as well. Okay, so if you want to, you can go ahead and join in on that. Today was actually a very interesting day in the market. I don't know if it's necessarily a turning point in the market, but at least for me, it's very, very significant. And let me show you why. We've been doing a lot of analysis on the market, and right now the market looks, pretty bad. The market looks pretty bad. At the same time, look at this candle we just dropped today. Okay. Are you there, Corrupted? I didn't see you. Oh, okay, there he goes. I knew you would come back or return it. Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, I'm like, I'm not going to leave him hanging like that. Yeah, we dropped a huge day on the market today. And I honestly haven't had a huge chance to go through it. Man, $100, that's crazy. I really do. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's go through this a little bit. So, I haven't had a chance today too. I saw the market. I was hanging out with a client today, and I saw the market. I actually put a tweet out earlier. Let me see here if I can show it to you guys. Ooh, Boring Company product launch on December 18th. More than a tunnel opening will include modded but fully road legal autonomous transport cars and ground to tunnel car elevators. What the hell, Elon? That's great. That's cool stuff. Okay, so let me tweets. So I put this out today. QQQ. I was talking today in my stocks power hour that the best case scenario is that they use the market being closed on Wednesday to scare the crap out of people so they can accumulate. I'm not saying it's what's happening, but so far so good. The day needs to close towards the high, and hopefully the volume is good. Some names are seeing some good action. We're still far from healthy, but hopefully we won't crater into a bear market. We were this morning especially on the precipice of going into a bear market. If you flip this price action on its head, which is essentially taking the open to the close, or I'm sorry, the open to the low, and then essentially doing that right there, at least in my opinion, puts us in a bear market. Really just puts us in a bear market. The fact today that we had a huge reversal day. Keep in mind, this was a massive reversal day today. We were down, what's the percentage on this thing? Just from the open, we were down almost 3%. We were down 3% from there. And it doesn't necessarily completely put the last nail in the coffin, but what it does do is it at least, or it should say, put the nail in the coffin of the bear market. What it does do is it removes that nail. It at least postpones it for another day. There's a possibility that it happens later. But, we'll have to wait and see. Take each day as it comes. But overall, so, yeah, Corrupted, you really need to join with me on the Stocks Power Hour. I do it in the mornings. Sometimes not there for a full hour because the way the time zone thing shifted. I got to get my kids to school some days. But I'm there as long as I can be. And so we had a follow-through day. I'm not going to go super into what a follow-through day is, but a follow-through day was this day. We had one here that failed, and here's another follow-through day. And so far, this one is okay. It does have, I'm not sure if they would consider this another distribution day. Actually, they would not consider this a distribution day. So we have one distribution day after a follow-through day, which is acceptable. It's not great. It's not what we want. But hopefully, I say hopefully because we haven't really broken any major any major technical signals yet, we're done going lower. We're done going lower. That's the best case scenario. If you look at the volume on this candle, now I'm on the futures. The action is going to be a little bit different. I'm looking for some entry points. Then we'll stagger in. I don't trade. I only buy and hold, then add. Only top 50 global companies. Buy, set, and forget. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you for telling me a strategy. I love tech, both U.S. and Chinese, but we'll spread it out. Okay. I think I... Okay. So here's the thing. If you're looking for very long term, it's always difficult to time like the bottom, and I don't even necessarily think that's... you're welcome, Corrupted. What time of the day in the UK would be my power hour? Well, I know Ireland is 8 hours ahead of me, so that would be 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. in Ireland, whatever that is to you. It'd be about 5 o'clock in Ireland, so maybe 6 o'clock, something like that. Yeah. Okay, so, well, first of all, let me lay a couple strategies on you. See if I still want to do this with this many people watching. Yeah, I guess I'll do it anyways. Okay, so I have a strategy, Corrupted. Maybe you wrap this into kind of what you're thinking about doing or already do. I've got a strategy around the TQQQ, which is a triple the NASDAQ ETF. Okay, now they say it's not for long-term holders, yada, yada, yada. We can kind of talk about that not later today. I'm going to have to go in like 20 minutes or so for sure. But I would buy this ETF all day long on NASDAQ dips. All day long. If you look at where we closed right here from 48, if we get back towards all-time highs, you're looking at a very good price percentage gain. You're looking at 50% price percentage gain. That's nothing to shake a stick at. And keep in mind, this is on an index. This is not even on, this isn't Apple. This isn't Snapchat. This isn't Twitter. All those companies could have an event. They could wipe them out. This is the NASDAQ. Okay, this is the top 100 companies. So I would put this as part of your, and this is tech. This is kind of right up your alley. So I would buy this on dips. Anywhere down here is fine. I actually bought this. If you go back to my stocks power hour, we basically bought here and we bought here on those two high volume days. Right there is where we bought these two. So, you know, we understood the market could go lower. We talked about this kind of in depth at the time. And for an index to buy down so far, especially if you have a longer term time horizon, is a tremendous advantage. And I mean, right, 50%. I mean, you put $5,000 to work right there. I'm just throwing numbers out. You know, it's $2,500 right there, just by going back to all-time highs. And if you have a longer-term time horizon, you know, even better. You're able to kind of, you know, hold this thing for longer periods. And actually, if you look at this, you know, to make a long story much shorter, this is the TQQQ since its inception in 2010. It looks like your low is $1.04. It's at $50. It's at $50. Okay, now don't get me wrong. This is a volatile investment. That's 3,500% in a decade, essentially. 3,500% in a decade. You can't get mad at that. So, you know, I mean, if you're a long-term holder, this was the most brutal time that the TQQQ had. This is probably the second most brutal time the TQQQ had, and this wiped out 50% of your portfolio, and this wiped out 44% of your portfolio. 50%, 44%. So if we take more legs lower, I you know, it's going to be difficult if we get back down here. But if you're adding in all the time, the more you add in as this thing gets lower, the better. So as individual stocks, like if you're looking at Apple and such, it's a little difficult. It's a little difficult to necessarily say, okay, buy Apple here, buy Nvidia here, because they may not move during the next market cycle. All right, and that's the scary part. They may not move. Like you look at Apple here. So that was TQQQ. So you look at Apple here, And I mean, it's had a great run. Don't get me wrong. 91 cents split adjusted to $200 or $174 currently, but this is going back to 2003. Apple's been probably the best performing company ever in the history of the market. And, it probably will come back, but there's a lot of them that don't. Like VRX is a good example. I like to use VRX all the time because I think it's actually defunct now. Yeah, see? It 716 probably won't even pull up. Anyway, you have a lot of stocks that don't ever come back. I guess GE would be a good example, right? Like, let's say you bought anywhere here. Let's say you bought anywhere here. Let's say you bought it in 2002 when it was a smoking deal at $25. Okay? Smoking deal at $25. It's now at $7. It went down to $5. So you never know what's going to move and what's going to come back and what's not going to come back. Okay, I know GE isn't technology, but back in 2000, it actually had some tech-ish type of things happening. We don't want to get into their crazy history, but individual names much more volatile than any index will be. Now, the TQQQ, this is an ETF. This can go away. I don't know how that will react in those circumstances. If there's a possibility that it goes away, I don't know if it craters into the ground. I don't know if the money disappears. I actually don't know answers to those questions, because it is not like it's not an index fund. Okay, it's a triple leveraged ETF. They play a lot of magic to get that triple to happen, and something may go wrong with it. But there's other ones as well. You can play with the SPY and stuff like that. But in terms of timing, certain of the big tech names, I know I kind of went off on a sideways tangent on you, but I think that's an important thing to mention, is that indexes can give you a much more reliable return rate than any individual name, because by any stretch of the imagination, GE coming from $5 to $30, I mean, that felt really good, right? That's 600% in, what is that, like 8 years, 600%. You're not mad at that either, are you? But then look what happens. It starts going lower, and with the mindset of holding forever on an individual name, when it finally rolls over on you 50%, you realize all these gains have gone, then you're just waiting for it to come back, and it never does. All right, not that it never will, but like you can't expect it to come back, and this could happen. This could happen to Apple. This could happen to Amazon. Maybe Snapchat's our future. Who the hell knows? But yeah, so I mean, looking at Apple from a longer term perspective, we have a weekly chart here and a daily chart here. This is kind of how I have my thing set up here. So weekly, we can come back down to this and still have the longer term uptrend intact. So there's a possibility you could add a little bit here and then maybe try to add lower. But if that nice sign we got the other day, or should say today, which is this reversal day, if the nice sign we got here today is any indication, it's a possibility we bottom here for a while. I'm not saying it's the all-time bottom for Apple this year, but there's definitely a good possibility that we don't go a tremendous amount lower. That being said, on the daily chart, we're under the 200-day moving average, which indicates further selling pressure. We don't even have a good test of the 200-day moving average. So if you're looking at levels on Apple, I would say 130 to 140, or I'm sorry, 120 to 130 would probably be a great level to buy Apple. If it undercuts that, you may be in a situation where Apple's turned the tide and may no longer be the major market leader, which would put a lot of downward pressure on the NASDAQ as well, because Apple is one of those top three stocks in terms of market cap. So if you're looking at Amazon at this stage of the game, looking a little better than Apple, it's actually, where'd it close today? It's closing on that 200-day moving average, which is about $1,700. Closing on there. So far, we've overtaken the 50-day once, overtaken the 200-day. When you think about growth prospects, I think Amazon just fundamentally has more growth ahead of it than Apple, right? You see Apple kind of falling off a little bit. you see Amazon really really growing its market share every week. I mean, to be quite honest with you. Mike, it is a crypto stream, but when someone tips you $150 to talk about stocks, I think it's polite to talk about stocks. So, Corrupted was nice to do just that. Amazon, I think, anywhere sub 1600 at this stage of the game, if you get another dip down here and volume isn't expansive, then I think you start nibbling at it down here. If it undercuts some of these, yeah, we have a couple other trend lines here on Amazon. If it starts to undercut some of those, then then you can start to think that Amazon may be in trouble longer term. Okay. Yeah, in terms of the market sentiment, so yeah, so here's the thing about the market sentiment right now is we're in a point we're in a pivot point, okay? We're pivoting. All right. A lot of people, the market's come down a tremendous amount in a short period of time. We came down 16% in a very short period of time. That can be the end of it. By all means, this could be the end of it. So what caused this rally today, from my understanding, and I don't have all the facts yet because I didn't look into the news myself. I heard it on the radio. The Fed said they may pause interest rate hikes. That means that maybe the inverted yield curve will start to uninvert itself, and that means that institutional investors will probably start to get more invested in stocks. That, along with Trump's trade war that's going on, if that stays going for long periods of time, that will definitely put pressure on the markets. But we're in a pivot point right here. And like I said earlier, this morning we were really on the precipice of almost confirming a bear market. And a bear market would take us down for many months to come. That's definitely still in the cards. I'd say it still looks like 60% kind of bearish to me for the next couple of months. Past that, we really need to see what happens with the trade war stuff. That's really going to, I think, drive the market in one direction or another. If the Fed pauses rate hikes and doesn't do any more rate hikes, then I think that's very, very good for the markets. If Trump continues with the trade war talks, and I mean, come on, the other day when we rallied up here, that big gap up was because Trump said that there was a deal that China was gonna buy some farm equipment, or not equipment, but you know what I mean. That tweet he put out the other day, and then the day after that, that proved to be false, and the market plummeted. Okay, market plummeted right there, and then over the it wasn't a holiday, it was a funeral, Randy. When the market was closed yesterday, we started drifting lower, and then at the same time that happened, we also the U.S. also arrested the. You heard about it on the news today. Arrested. Now China wants her released. So, we're getting in a situation with China that can be very dangerous, and that could really put this in a bear market for the next year or so. I think that is definitely a big possibility if China wants to escalate this. If I don't want to step on any toes here. I'm an American. I know nothing about any culture other than hamburgers and French fries, but from my understanding, the Chinese culture is very honor based, and they like to be patient. They think they can wait out the United States, and if we're insulting them by arresting executives, that's not going to go. They could just, out of spite, hold the tariffs and just say, we're not going to give an inch because you guys are douchebags. I could definitely see that could be possible. So if that happens, we could be in a bear market for a long time, which would give us great asset buys on many names. So at this stage of the game, if you want to layer in a little bit here, I wouldn't mind doing that. And then if you see some bull market signs come up, pay attention to my Real-Stocks channel, and we can talk about it there as well. Looks like Chris and Krupp got a. I feel like more than makes sense. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I wouldn't share. So the amount of money someone has invested is irrelevant, to be quite honest with you. Um, it's really irrelevant. It's about the percentage gain, to be honest with you. So it's really about the percentage gain. You could have $1 million or $10,000 if you're making 10% on each account. It's gonna, feel a little better for the for the guy, with more money. But in the end, it's all about percentage gain, because that's all that really matters. That's all that really matters. I could have listened to Paul when he called the market top. Absolutely, Paul. Absolutely. I agree with you there. So, we have some bottoming candles here in the market. So that definitely points to the possibility that we have actually bottomed. And it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. Stopping the market at 16% is good. But I think going forward, if we do go into a bullish cycle, I don't think we're going to go into a rip-roaring market like we had in 2017, unfortunately. It's going to be more of a pointed bull market. Certain stocks are going to run. Certain stocks are going to be distributed still. And a lot of that's going to be due to the trade war, I think. Depending on what oil does. There's a lot of macroeconomic factors right now that are actually mixed. There's a lot of mixed macroeconomics happening, and until those settle themselves out, it's kind of anyone's game. But I'm leaning. I'm pretty neutral right now. I was pretty bearish this morning, then on the reversal today with a lot of stocks looking really, really good. I think that we're looking a little bit better. So, yeah, but I really think we're sitting in this pivot point. I think we're just kind of sitting in this pivot point where I mean, you can see it every day. The market pivots. That's because there's no consensus. And when you have no market consensus, you can have no market direction. Okay, so there's just lack of consensus. The selling has mostly abated. So I say mostly because it hasn't completely abated. But even so, this is something I actually wanted to mention this morning, but I didn't because I had to run out of there. Look at the volume trend here. Right? Look at the volume trend. Looks like the sellers are so this was the last selling day was Tuesday, and look at the volume on Tuesday. There's no reason for that to be a light volume day, but it was. It was a much lighter volume day. We had these lows down here. You notice the high volumes? That's very high because that's accumulation. Okay, that's because that's accumulation. This was maybe a little bit too high for them to start picking at it. Maybe that's the reason the volume is low. But either way, the volume is declining generally. You can even see on the average volume it was floating up. Then it took a slightly less angle. Then it's flat again. And you can see all these lows underneath average volume. And so you can see the general selling has abated. We can drift lower in this environment. If you go back in history, you can see that can happen. But ideally, we're just gonna meander around here. And I've said this since the follow through day here. Hopefully, we just meander around this area. Don't undercut this low, and then in time we'll exit out of the bear market. If the trade war proves to not be a thing, and the Fed pauses interest rates, that alone could cause another pump in the markets. Whether it's sustainable or not, that is anybody's guess. All I know is that the market in time has an upside bias, so I think I'll leave you guys, unless anyone has any more questions, with a long chart of the NASDAQ, which shows an upside bias right there. So, yeah, ideally we'll get out of this, but if we undercut that low down there, I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Pretty bad bear market, I think, if that happens. We're not going to go 50%, but I think we're going to go. Into 20, 25, maybe 30% territory, and that would really reset all this market action. It would really suck, but it would be really healthy for the ultra long term. All right, I think I'll bring it back around to Bitcoin. Unless Corrupted, you got any more questions? But yeah, I think we're really just stuck in that pivot point, my friend, and you're seeing the oscillations in the market back and forth. All right, Jimmy Choo, peace out, buddy. Have a good one. couple crypto questions. Is it possible to bottom without capitulation, and what would that look like? It is possible to bottom without capitulation. Anything's on the table. What it would look like to me is a majorly bullish chart pattern, and it would look like probably a series of bottoms that are being bought up in elevated volume is what I think it would look like. Yeah, Paul, I think you and I talked about your top a couple of times. So Eli's been telling me I've been too bullish, and I probably have been a little too bullish. I think the reason being is because I was a little too bearish during the previous corrections, and then I felt like I was trying to stay with the upside bias to the market. But we'll see if this proves to be different. Hopefully we're done going lower, but we'll see how that goes. So, all right, Corrupted, thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it. It's very generous of you. Yeah, if you want to subscribe to my Power Hour, and we can talk there every day if you want to. So, thanks, Corrupted. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. Actually, so there's one more Omisego chart. Let's look at the Omisego chart. Interested in Omisego. $1.17. Horrible. It's just horrible, like every other chart in the world. Yeah. So. Yeah, not much going on with Omisego or anything at this point in the game. I would pretty much avoid all of it. Yeah, I'd pretty much avoid all of it. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining me. Thank you very much, Corrupted, everyone else. I appreciate it, guys. I'll see you next time.